Oreos. It's what's for dinner. I'm literally going to sit here and eat this whole box. You know, I've been thinking that I might start doing mukbang ASMR videos. If I started doing that, would you guys watch? Oh my god. Mega stuffed Oreos. It's the only way to go. We are closing out 2025. What a year it has been. For me, I don't know about you, time has flown by. So for me, there have been so many changes, not only in my personal life, but as all of you know, out in the world. Mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally, I have changed so much this year. Sometimes I'll look in the rearview mirror and I don't even recognize the person that once was. For me, change and transformation has been a huge theme in my life. But like the phoenix that rises from the ashes, I always come out unscathed, a little scarred, but stronger and better than I once was. So I'm sure there are a lot of people 2025 has brought. So I'm sure, for a lot of people, 2025 has brought immense change. From changes in the economy to the political landscape, we've all had to move around our lives a little to accommodate. And as the season change, of course, so do we. Um, and one thing is definite in life, and that is change. When I reflect on the history of my life, it hasn't always been easy. Now, don't get me wrong, there have been a lot of good, happy memories along the way, but there have been a lot of struggles that I've had to go through. Some struggles were at the expense of my own bad choices, and some were totally out of my control. So, the audience that I'm trying to reach today are those who haven't traversed the changes in life quite easily. Those who are probably still searching for answers after experiencing hardship, struggles, and heartbreak. A lot of you may feel lost, bewildered, isolated, or even traumatized, or feeling this way as we close out the year. I know for me around the holidays, those feelings can come to the forefront as it does for a lot of people. For me personally, I'll be honest, I struggle around the holidays. The imprints of my past have left lingering heartbreak around the holidays for me. It seems that I've always lost loved ones around this time of year. And my mother passed away around the holidays, and for me, it was never the same after that. So, with all that being said, there's a lot that I'm going to try to consolidate in this discussion for you guys today. From accepting the changes in your life, understanding what's occurring, how to navigate these changes with wisdom. And at the end, I'll give you some updates on what's currently going on in my life if anyone's interested. So, as I stated above and in my other videos, there's been a lot of change in the world on all levels. Not to go on a rabbit trail or get into conspiracies, but on a metaphysical and spiritual level, there has been huge, massive shifts. I do believe that we are going through an apocalypse. And, some of you are like, what is she talking about? What does this mean? Well, let's look at the etymology of the word apocalypse. Apocalypse comes from the Greek word apocalypsis, meaning unveiling or revelation, a disclosure of hidden knowledge or truth, especially divine. I don't know about you, but if you look around, you can see an apocalypse occurring. The illusion of the matrix is coming undone. Everything that was built on lies or deception is being ripped wide open. And in resisting acknowledging this, it only creates more insanity, I do believe. If I'm being honest with my audience, I feel as if I've already gone through my apocalypse and that the world is trying to catch up. So if we're Gnostics and we are under the notion that everything comes from you, then I can rest on that notion. I feel like now I'm here to guide others on their own process of awakening. Okay. Um, Looking back, I can see how every painful change or ending in my own life quietly redirected me toward deeper truths, even when I didn't understand what was happening at the time. If your life feels like it's breaking down, it doesn't always mean you're off course or even cursed. Often, it means you've outgrown the structure you were living in. One thing that I've learned is that change almost always asks us to release something first: an identity, a relationship, a belief about who we thought we had to be. The universe doesn't take things from us to punish us. It clears space when something no longer fits who we're becoming. I've had seasons where the universe stripped things from me faster than I can understand why. At the time, it felt cruel. Looking back, I can see that what was taken from me was never meant to that what was taken was never meant to come with me or carry me forward. So what I'm saying is change always requires some sort of sacrifice. Sacrifice is not loss for the sake of suffering. It's an offering that makes room for alignment, your own personal alignment. If you're truly suffering at this moment and your life is unbearable, is it enough to push you to make you sacrifice for positive change? If not, then I guess you can suffer a little bit more until you have no choice but to make that change. But I guarantee you, the longer you wait, the more painful it will be. Ask me how I know. I actually remember the day that I hit rock bottom 4 years ago. I remember being outside, lying on the cold ground around this time of year, crying out to the universe to help me. All I knew was that I was fed up with my life up until that point. All the heartbreak, all the suffering. I knew in my soul that I was going to have to sacrifice something in order to make a change. I remember asking myself specific questions that night, like questions like, what is the universe trying to show me? Am I being my most authentic self? Am I truly happy? Is this all that I came here for? And I'm telling you this because some of you may be at this point in your life, we are reaching the new year, and I know some of you, a lot of you look for change at the beginning of the new year. So a lot of you may be at this point in your life right now, you're rock bottom. I mean, I hope not, but sometimes the universe has to take us there to wake us up. Some of us are more hard-headed than others. So what I'm asking you is, what is it that you need to sacrifice or give up? Is it a toxic relationship or relationships that no longer serve you? An old identity that you need to let die? Certain negative survival patterns? Comparing your life to others, robbing your own life of joy, and living in your own authenticity? Is it your ego that you need to let go of? What is it that you need to sacrifice? So I'll leave you guys with that. So moving on a little, lately I've had trouble making a little changes in my own life. If I'm being honest, it's been hard finding the motivation, joy, and inspiration to start things. Usually I'm busy creating. I'm a creator. I love to do art and just create, but lately I have not been motivated to do so. And I know some of you know how this feels. And that just kind of explains where I've been a little lately. So I've started listening to Tony Robbins, his Ultimate Edge program, to be exact. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Tony Robbins, but Tony Robbins, he's an American author, motivational speaker, and life coach. He's known for his seminars and self-help books, including Unlimited Power and Awaken the Giant Within. And I'm mentioning this in case some of you want to check out his programs for self-improvement. Speaking of the new year, speaking of changes, if you want to make positive changes in your life, Tony Robbins can help you get through getting that process started and keep you on that path. Some of his entire sessions are available on YouTube, but to get the maximum results, you'll need to pay for his entire program, and it's worth it. I promise you guys. Tony Robbins talks about how every individual has some kind of blueprint in their life. If one person perceives life as a struggle, that's the blueprint that they're living upon. If another person's blueprint is that life is a game, then their life will tend to be built upon having fun. Basically, your perception dictates your life. Also, it's good to be realistic about your blueprint. For instance, if you were born with brown eyes and your blueprint for happiness is built upon having green eyes, your blueprint has you set up for failure, not to mention being depressed and unhappy. So it's important that you be realistic with yourself when creating your blueprint. It's important to know your strengths and your weaknesses. So Tony Robbins has been a great tool to use while I've been uncertain about my life. I've just put that out there for you guys. So when everything feels like it's unraveling, the mind definitely wants certainty. It wants a map. Another tool for me to help make sense of the timing of my life without giving my power away was astrology. When so many people are experiencing change at the same time, it's natural to wonder if there's a larger pattern at work. Not to escape responsibility, but to understand the season that you're in. There's different seasons for different people. I understand that astrology is a pseudoscience. Hence, that's why on my Mona Lucia business card is the saying, "It's not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves." I don't turn to astrology because I want answers handed to me. I use it to help me understand what I am already living through. Astrology isn't something I use to predict the future or explain away my choices. I see it more as a symbolic language, a way of understanding cycles, timing, and inner seasons. So instead of asking what's wrong with me, the question becomes, what is the season asking of me? And I do believe astrology can give some answers to the latter question. Believe it or not, there's a science behind everything. Okay. I mentioned this in today's discussion because, for one, I've been really diving back into studying astrology. And for two, I know there's a lot of people who put all their faith in it. As someone who's been studying this art for more than 13 years, I hate to say that most people are incorrect when it comes to reading a horoscope or speaking of things related to astrology. So astrology is very intricate. It goes way deeper than your sun sign, your rising sign, or even your moon sign. They also do not tell you that there are over 14 different types of astrology, different methods to use, and different house systems. They don't tell you about the 27 lunar mansions called nakshatras, which are known as star clusters, dividing the 360-degree sky, each spanning 13 degrees 20 minutes, representing unique energies, deities, and symbols that influence personality, while the padas, which are the steps in the quarters, further divide each nakshatra into 3 degrees 20-minute segments, mapping the zodiac signs and ruling planets, adding crucial detail to personality, life path, and karmic influences for precise analysis. So, understanding padas reveals subtle variations linking the elements, which are fire, air, earth, and water, and concepts like dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, refining birth chart interpretations. Also, I do believe in Western astrology that they refer to the nakshatras as deacons. So for me, I tend to follow Vedic and Joyit's astrology. I think I said that right. It's an ancient system rooted in the Vedas, focusing on karma, destiny, and remedies, using the sidereal zodiac for deeper insights than Western astrology. So, whether you believe in astrology or not really isn't the point I'm trying to make. What matters is that it helped me slow down, reflect, and stop fighting certain transitions or seasons in my life. And I love blending astrology and tarot together. So, with all this being said, as we move into the new year, I know many people are seeking clarity, grounding, or simply a safe space to reflect. If you're working with me through tarot, Reiki, or even astrology, if that feels supportive for where you are right now, I'm offering a small new year gesture. So 10% off sessions with the code new year 26, this code right here. So no pressure, just an option for those who feel called or for anyone who feels they could use extra support during this time. Now, I know some of you like to keep up with what books I'm currently reading, what I've been researching, or what I've been up to in general. I love to share my thoughts on random topics with anyone who's interested. So, first thing, I don't know who's into Stranger Things. I'm a huge Stranger Things fan. And man, I don't even know where to begin. All I'm going to say is that I'm just disappointed. Netflix let me down with season 5. I'm not even going to get into a discussion about it. Just know that I'm hurt. I was expecting so much more, but I feel like I got trash instead. Um, what else? So, second thing, social media psychosis. As most of you are aware, I deleted my Facebook and Instagram accounts over a year ago. So it was the best decision I've ever made. I do, however, still have my TikTok account and scroll through every now and then. I limit my scroll time. But lately, when I've scrolled through TikTok, I've noticed a growing pattern that's concerning. There's an intensity to the content that feels ungrounded, people speaking with absolute certainty, making extreme claims, framing themselves as the first or superior race, enlightened or uniquely awakened, while completely ignoring facts of truth and, of course, humility. So, on the social network lately, I see a lot of confusion, fear, inflated identity, loss of discernment, psychosis. Um, I think a lot of people are overwhelmed at this time, in denial about their shadow, disassociated, and trying to make sense of a world that feels unstable at this time. Um, when reality becomes too heavy to process, the psyche looks for certainty wherever it can find it. And it just seems that the whole world is in psychosis per social media, man. It's crazy. One thing on TikTok now, I mean, did you know that white people were created by a man with two brains named Yakub? Oh, man. So it's getting ridiculous out here. Okay, lastly, I want to talk about some books that I'm currently reading. Um, just I'm always in a book. This is one book that I finished called The Once and Future Goddess. Um, it's a really, really good book. Um, so it's a sweeping visual chronicle of the sacred female and her reemergence in the cultural mythology of our time. It's by Eleanor Gaydon. And this is a really good book. Talks about goddess worship throughout history. I really like that book. And so lately, so the Nag Hammadi scriptures, I'm really diving into the Nag Hammadi scriptures. It's very interesting. And that's all I'll say about that. Anatomy of the Spirit, the 7 stages of power and healing. This is a really good book. Since I'm into Reiki, this ties in the physical and the metaphysical. So, for instance, it ties in physical ailments with a spiritual sickness, so to speak, I guess. But anyway, if you're interested in that type of thing, this is a really, really good book. I haven't finished it yet. It's called Anatomy of the Spirit. And so another book that I have been, that I just started is called Psychic Self-Defense. And lost my bookmark. But it's by Dion Fortune. And I'm already liking it. It's a really good book. And that's really all I have for this video. Like I said, I've been really busy. There's been a lot of life changes for me. I've had to redirect my attention in other places, so that's why it's been a minute since I've made a video, but hopefully I can be more consistent. Um, so if you have any questions for me, I'd love to hear from you. If you have any topics on anything that you like for me to discuss, please feel free to comment. So until next time, namaste.